And we start this very day by making it abundantly clear that the greatest enemy of a black man is the way that we reason. If not that the way we reason is very, very abhorrent, there is no need or reason why we should be suffering and complaining every blessed day without the courage to do something about it.
I want every one of you to remember these three words. Nigerians, we are no more. Southeasterners and Southerners, we cannot become. And Biafrans, we must be.
Nigeria is the terrorist, not we, not Biafran. So Finland, you need to get that clear first. You need to know who is committing the act of terrorism. As of today, the Nigerian state, headed by Tinubu and Christopher Musa, continues to unleash act of terrorism against innocent Biafrans. They killed.
The program you're about to watch is coming from the United States of Biafra Media, the ITPS. I want you to pay attention to every information that you're going to hear in this video. It is very educating and it will inform you of the situation in the Zoological Republic of Nigeria and what is going on in the United States of Biafra. Pay attention from the beginning to the end. Every information in this platform is very important. We are here to promote the United States of Biafra under the command of our Prime Minister, Mazi Simon Ekpa Njoko, and on the Supreme Command of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, today under the leadership of the Deputy Prime Minister, Dr. Ngozi Arabweze. Pay attention from the beginning to the end, and you'll be glad you did. Let's watch and hear what the media is presenting.
Of Ikparapa village in Agwamad, Emma Amufu, Isuzu local government area of Enugu state, have been killed by suspected headsmen yet again. Several others, however, are still missing, as search parties have been launched to recover the missing residents, dead or alive. Ubuzuru Ebe, a community leader who confirmed the recent attack, revealed that the attack occurred on Sunday evening. Although details of the attack are still unfolding, Ebe explained that the village has just recovered 4 bodies of the people killed in their farms and are currently looking for 7 people who are still missing after the attack. The attack is the latest in a series of violent assaults by suspected headsmen in Ehamufu, which have resulted in the death of scores of farmers and widespread sexual violence against women. Now, in a very recent development, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is set to travel to Benue State on Wednesday, June 18, as part of efforts to foster peace and address the persistent conflict affecting communities in the state. The special advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Nanuga, who made this known in a statement today, noted that due to the visit in Benue State, the president has rescheduled his planned official visit to Kaduna State. During the visit, the president will meet with all stakeholders, including traditional rulers, political, religious, community leaders and youth groups to seek lasting solutions to the hostilities. In preparation for the visit, President Tinubu has already dispatched the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the Inspector General of Police, heads of intelligence agencies, the National Security Advisor, and the Chairman of the Senate and House Defense Committees on Benue State. Now, in a similar development, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kaide Gbetoku, has arrived in Benue State and ordered the immediate deployment of additional tactical teams to the region. The Inspector General of Police, Kaide Gbetoku, met with the leaders of Yawata community in Guma local government area, Benue State, following a deadly attack that left scores dead. In a post on the official X.com account of the Nigerian Police Force today, they revealed that Egbetoku, alongside the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, assessed the damage of the attack and engaged with the community leaders. The deployment comes amid mounting public outreach and calls on social media for the federal government to declare a state of emergency in Benue following a 2-day killing spree by suspected headers.
In a recent development, the federal government has launched the official digital portal for the forthcoming Nigeria Youth Conference, also known as National Youth Confab. The government has said that the Youth Confab is aimed at engaging young Nigerians in policy discussions and national development. The launching was announced today by Minister of Youth Development, Ayode Olawande. He said the Confab will be inclusive, non-partisan and youth-led. According to the minister, the theme of the Confab is Next Gen Nigeria, crafting solutions, owning the future. He said the portal would enable delegates to register, contribute and get real-time updates throughout the time of the Confab. You will recall that President Bola Tinubu first announced the planned 30-day Youth Confab during his Independence Day broadcast in October 2024. The president also officially inaugurated a 44-member planning committee for the National Youth Conference at the State House in Abuja in March this year. The Federal High Court in Abuja has declined a request by federal prosecutors to issue a bench warrant for the arrest of suspended Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan over her absence at an arraignment. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan was dragged to court by the federal government on charges of criminal defamation. Justice M.G. Umar today ruled against the applications for arrest, citing improper service of the charges. Senator Akpoti-Uduaghan, who represents Kogi Central and is currently on a 6-month suspension from the Senate, is facing charges filed by the Federal Ministry of Justice through the Department of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, DPPF. The case stemmed from an April 3 interview on Channels Television, where she alleged that Senate President Godswill Akpabio and former Kogi State Governor Yaya Bello were involved in a plot to have her assassinated. The matter has been adjourned to June 30 for arraignment. A rowdy scene unfolded on Sunday when the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress APC and former governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, narrowly escaped a serious beating by irate APC members in Gombe State. The incident occurred at the APC Northeast Forum meeting on Sunday. VOP News gathered that trouble began after Comrade Mustafa Salihu, national vice chairman of the ruling party in the Northeast, endorsed Tinubu for the 2027 presidential elections but refused to endorse Shettima. The moment he finished his speech, delegates at the forum started to hurl insults at him, with some threatening to attack him physically, but he had to be escorted out of the meeting by security operatives. Ganduje also did the same thing, as he failed to mention the Vice President Shettima throughout his 10-minute speech, drawing the ire of the already incensed party members. He also had to be escorted out of the venue with heavy security.
Let's take a very brief listen to the chaos that erupted at that particular meeting with the APC members.
Sit down. Quiet down now.
And that was the imbroglio that stemmed out. That was Baba Gana Zulum trying to stop the crowd from actually descended into chaos. They took up cheers amongst themselves while they were shouting Tinubu Shettima. They felt that they wanted to isolate Shettima. It was supposed to be a Tinubu Shettima ticket. At that particular moment, the senators and House of Rep members literally descended into an unchaotic situation. There was tension, and while the security operatives actually escorted the governor out of the scene because members were already taking chairs, heating themselves up. It was a particular marauding situation, quite embarrassing at the moment.
Still on the same situation, tension gripped Sunday's APC Northeast stakeholders meeting in Gombe after delegates threatened to back former Vice President Atiku Abubakar if current Vice President Kashim Shettima is removed from President Bola Tinubu's 2027 ticket. The gathering at the International Conference Center was intended to reaffirm support for President Tinubu's second-term bid, but erupted in chaos when Zonal Vice Chairman Mustafa Salihu concluded his speech without mentioning Shettima. Video footage showed an enraged party member hurling a chair at Salihu as he fled the stage, while another delegate lobbed a plastic bucket in protest. Several threatened mass defection to the PDP. The meeting ended abruptly as dignitaries exited amid shouts and cheers being thrown. Outside, police deployed tear gas to disperse hundreds of agitated party faithfuls. A source familiar with the Zonal Working Committee disclosed that all Northeast NWC members, except Mustafa Salihu, had formally supported President Tinubu and Vice President Shatima for 2027.
You're currently listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. We'll take a very short break. When we return, we'll head into our news analysis segment. We'll be joined via the telephone with Mr. Elvis Elimele, who is a political, national and social affairs commentator. To kindly stay with us. All right, thank you for staying with us. You're still listening to the World News right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. It's now time for our news analysis segment, and I'm being joined via the telephone with Mr. Elvis Elimele. Mr. Elvis, good evening and thank you for joining us today.
Good evening, Esther. How is your day?
My day is fine, we thank God. Thank you very much, Mr. Elvis. So, Mr. Elvis, it's I would say it's a pleasure to have you on the World News at 6 amidst disturbing circumstances. Mr. Elvis, the nation is actually in gloom. The situation in Benue State has become so terrible. It's been messy. And another recent attack has happened as well in Enugu State. Mr. Elvis, what exactly is this resurgence of bloodletting across the country, specifically in certain areas, Benue, Plateau, Enugu, Imo states? There have been dastardly attacks, killing innocent young people, as young as babies and children. Mr. Elvis, the recent one is the case of Benue State. Do you know that the federal government of Nigeria was very quick to respond to the Israel-Iran war? Immediately the missiles from Israel happened on Iran, the federal government sent a warning through the Minister of Foreign Affairs immediately to the government of Israel, warning them not to allow tensions escalate further. In the same vein, you could recall that was 24 hours after the disturbing killing that took place in Benue State. Mr. Elvis, do you know that the Pope on Sunday, who is far away in Rome, had to commiserate with the families and victims of those who lost their lives in that unfortunate incident? And the presidency, the federal government of Nigeria, the secretary to the government of the Federation, none of the spokespersons actually sent any heartfelt, heartwarming recommendation or commemoration to the victims of those who died in Benue State. Mr. Elvis, backlashes are coming from Nigerians, from opposition, from even international communities as to what exactly is the problem. The president eventually responded late Sunday evening through his spokesperson or Minister of Information and Strategy, Bayo Naniga. Bayo Naniga actually said that the president disclosed that immediately, based on his earlier warning, that the Chief of Army Staff ought to go there, and he also said that the governor of Benue State should reconcile warring factions. In other words, the president hinted to us that the situation in Benue was not a Fulani terrorist attack, but rather possibly communal clashes that escalated beyond anyone can measure. Mr. Elvis Elimele, that is your region, that is where you come from. Can you describe to me the unfortunate scenario, the breakdown of law and order in Benue State, and how the government of the day has allowed this kind of dissent to occur? Are the people of Benue not part of Nigeria? Is there a conspiracy theory in this regard to allow certain persons in the populace to die off with no recourse whatsoever?
Thank you, Esther. I think what we are going through in Nigeria is a very shameful act. Unfortunately, the politicians are only interested in themselves. They are not interested in the welfare and security of Nigeria. It was a big shame when I saw the Pope from the Vatican being the first person to even respond to, sending condolence message to the traumatized people of Benue State as a result of that massacre that about 200 Nigerians were wasted, mindlessly. Unfortunately, the Nigerian government will tell you that it is the opposition that are exaggerating it. But I don't know how they are going to rate the Pope, seeing what is happening in Nigeria right in faraway Vatican in that manner. But you see, the truth is that, Esther, the government of this nation are not truthful to themselves. They know exactly what is going on. A situation where the president will be talking of ethnicity and whatever, talking about reprisal, attack, and talking about the governor it's an aberration. It's just that the president they don't want to speak the truth to the issue. The people who are doing this, people who ask, where are they from? After the they run to that.
Mr. Elvis, did you see the gruesome attack? Did you see the videos of that unfortunate incident? Did you see the burning of those families? Did you see their ashes? Human beings, Mr. Elvis, human beings. It took backlashes from across the world of Nigeria before we now began to see the IGP actually going there, the Nigerian military actually going there, and the president has told us that on June 18th he is to visit. Mr. Elvis, do you know how many IDP camps are in Benue State? Do you know how many IDP camps are in Plateau State? In a country that is not at war, we have several IDP camps located, and all the government is talking about is politics. Mr. Elvis, do you understand that the unfortunate loss of one soul should be of serious and grave concern to government of the day? Have we gotten so plastic that the death now looks like chickens and goats and animals are slaughtered on a daily basis, and we are seeing no reaction, no response from the federal government?
maka Biafra. Oro pụtara anyị onye ndu ihe Simon Ekpa ọgbakọ biye.
Mr. Elvis, I don't know if you listen to my Did you listen to my program earlier today? When he said the chief of army staff president up to 1 minute, despite all the chiefs of the country, all of them in Wales, all of them came around to actually welcome him, and that when he walked out of Nigeria, and he left.
United States of Biafra, Butanigwe, Kaintinyaka, Kanyi Kwadono Bodani Marama no Diebube.
Chief of Staff, Dr. Ngozi Olabese, Kenele Muprof Chioma Ukoma, Head of Medical Research, Madam Caroline Ngozi Mbeze, Adadiola Akuko, Adandi Biafra, Isikenori na Rai, Pastor Vam
possibly there is some deliberate
some
kind of ethnic
European
or genocidal attitudes
and all the media
whatsoever. So the
Chukwu ji eme ihe dị egwu.
Begin to see reaction.
Jisi n'ike n'ọrụ unu arụrụ anyị.
Military, Inspector
Onye nwe anyị
General
gọzie unu.
included the president. Did it need to get to this point?
That was why I told you earlier that the government are not able to what is going on in Nigeria.
Nwoke batara n'ọsọgụ ihe mgbanwe dị.
Over 500,000
Nwoke ndị izu na n'olu ha amaba jijiji. Ọgbakọ obi anyị na-afụ ihe na-eme nwoke kara aka. Anyị na-afụ aka ọnụ gị. Anyị na-ekwu ihe na-eme. Jisi ike adala mba. Naanị tụkwasị Olise obi.
Mr. Elvis, they have preceded that circular because it was quite obnoxious and it was ridiculous. When that circular came out, Nigerians criticized the federal government, the Ministry of Agriculture, and said, what exactly are they doing? And eventually they